Hey everybody, welcome to Always Bored Never Boring, and my review of issue 54 of Warhammer 40,000 Conquest magazine, the Partworks magazine from Hachette Publishing in association with Games Workshop. This is a weekly magazine priced at $7.99, and you usually get some plastic miniatures on the cover. Occasionally you will get paints or hobby supplies. We have previously had two quite poor issues that did not have good value. The cover items were less in value than the $7.99 price for admission, and therefore the magazine itself had to shoulder the burden of whether those issues were good value or not. But that is all changing now with issue 54, because issue 54 comes with the character miniature Typhus, Herald of Nurgle, which is a beautiful miniature and also an expensive miniature. It normally retails for £25. So for your $7.99 price of admission, you are getting a saving of £17 and a penny on a truly awesome miniature. Here is that truly awesome miniature. It comes on 2 frames. It's a monopose kit, and it requires glue, but it is fantastic. It has lots of really cool details, like it has this swarm of buzzing insects which wraps around the miniature. It sort of plugs into the back and moves around. And for that reason, that is an element that I would paint separately, because if you attach it to the miniature, you're going to have a hard time getting into all those twiddles and diddles. So that's something that I would keep as a sub-assembly, paint it and then attach it afterwards. He has this awesome power scythe. He also has one of those unicorn helmets that seem to be all the rage in Warhammer 40k. If you're evil, if you're a baddie, if you worship the ruinous powers, you've probably got at least one unicorn helmet in the wardrobe for special occasions. It has a couple of fiddly little bits, like this tiny little bit of pipe here, and what I assume is the face of an insect. Or is that actually? Is that actually the part of his mask? Oh no, it's the lower part of his mask, isn't it? Yeah, it's the lower part of his mask, for which attaching onto there. Yeah, there we go then. Yeah, so there we go. Lots of extra twiddly bits of buzzing insects and horrible gaseous emissions. And look, he's ready to lend a hand. God dear. I need a better writer. So there we go. It's a very cool miniature. And like I say, normally retails for £25. Of course, there's that age-old debate. Is it actually worth £25? It's a lot of money for a single miniature. But rightly or wrongly, that is the price you would normally pay unless you went online and got a 20% discount somewhere. But even with a 20% discount, you're paying £20. So your $7.99 price for the magazine is a very good deal indeed. And of course, you get the magazine as well. So because we've got a new character miniature with this issue, we'll have a small amount of fluff at the beginning of this magazine, then we'll have the build instructions, the paint instructions, and then we'll have the rules for Typhus and a mission that involves using Typhus. So when you get something like a character miniature with this magazine, the magazine itself is also elevated because it's all jam-packed full of great things to help you build that miniature, paint that miniature, and then use that miniature on the table. When you get an issue that's just got a few paints or whatever, sometimes you will get a cool new bit of painting advice, but the magazines always seem to fall a little bit flat when the cover products aren't particularly exciting, or they're completions of part sets that you already have. For example, the last issue was a single bike to go with a previous issue where they'd given you 2 bikes, so you get 3 bikes total. But it meant that magazine wasn't the most exciting magazine. But anyway, here we are. This is actually talking about Typhus and his craft, the Terminus Est, which looks like that. And I do believe that that's what it looked like before Nergal started all the shenanigans on it. And then we have a bit on the Chronicles of Blood. And then we have our how to build section. We have how to build Typhus with, as always, our clippers and glue safety instructions, because we wouldn't want to stab ourselves in the eye or glue our mouth shut. So we have building Typhus. Relatively straightforward. Games Workshop build instructions are generally excellent. I've recently been building Aeronautica Imperialis, and the build instructions for those miniatures are not great. Very, very much not on the same standard as you're seeing here with the color-coded sections and these cool little yellow bits that indicate exactly where to put glue and things like that. They're actually attaching the fly assembly on the back. I really don't recommend doing that. I think you'll have difficulty trying to paint it when it's all together. But look at that. What an absolutely amazing miniature. It's just it's got a great shape to it. It's really dynamic. It's got so much character. It's busy, but then most Nergal miniatures are busy. And it's buzzy because it's got a giant fly. Good stuff. And then we have our how to paint Typhus. I'm going to breeze through this quite quickly because the painting guides are always quite similar in this magazine. They go through the same processes, but it is very good to have close-up shots of exactly what paints are going where, and this is quite nice. Doing the list breakdowns, exactly what you need in order to get him painted, with little close-ups of how to do the eyes and things like that. And the results that they get with these paint guides, they're good, clean results, very good tabletop quality. You'd be very, very proud of yourself to have anything painted following these guidelines, because it's going to look good on the table. And yeah, it's not going to be Golden Demon winning, but it's going to be very, very good tabletop quality miniature. I mean, you can probably stop at that point there and you've got a miniature you can be happy with, but they're actually now going into a little bit more detail than they have in previous paint guides. And to get to there, and it does actually say down here that we'll come back to Typhus in future issues to apply more paint and make him look even more spectacular than he already does. That's the only problem really with a Partworks magazine, is sometimes it stops when you don't want it to. I mean, it's a good thing to have a week by week thing where it gradually builds up your skill level and goes, okay, now we're going to do this, next week we'll give you something else and you can go back and add that in. That's a really good way to build someone's skill level. But when you've got a model like that, it'd be quite cool to be able just to get to the end of it and have everything done. But you're probably missing some paints that they're going to be introducing in later issues. And then we have The Destroyer Cometh. He does indeed. We have a scenario, Seek the Destroyer. What's this then? So obviously this is a scenario where we're deploying Typhus with the Tainted Cohort and some Marines and a Rhino. And the victory condition is the Space Marine player has to assassinate him. And the Death Guard win if Typhus survives. And then we have our instructions, our rules for using him, which is always useful. And they always keep the back clear with the rules, which is really nice, so you can rip that out. You're not taking out any bit of an article or anything. It's nice to have those. You can pop them all in a ring binder, whack them on the table when you're playing. You've got easy access to all the rules you need for all these miniatures. And that is that. Oh, look, the back pages come off. That's supposed to happen, by the way. These are designed to be pulled apart and put into binders, so that's normal. It's not just me being cack-handed. But yeah, there we go. That's issue 54, a really good issue. It's got a fantastic miniature on the cover, a really good miniature at a really good price. The magazine itself has got a good painting guide. Unfortunately, it doesn't finish, but it's got nice, clear instructions for getting a good tabletop quality paint job on Typhus. It has some more fluff. It has a new rule data card for Typhus, and it has a new scenario. All good. let's take a quick look at what's coming next. Next, we have Alchemite Pipes. This is part of the Sector Mechanicus stuff. That's very cool. And that's also going to work out as relatively decent value, I think, at $7.99. And then issue 56 is, check it out, Space Marine reinforcements. We're getting a whole heck of a heap of miniatures from the Dark Imperium box set, I believe. I believe that's all the frame from Dark Imperium. The full size 40k starter set that they put out. But we will talk about that another time. For now, I'm going to put up some figures here. This is a running cost. It's the total cost of subscribing to the magazine at the $7.99 cover price versus the cost of purchasing all of the cover products at full retail price. So we're not taking into account online discounts, but then we're also not taking into account the value of the magazine itself and any other free gifts that you get as a subscriber. So that's it. It's cover price versus retail price, and hopefully some people will find that useful. But that is it for me, and that is it for my current bundle of Warhammer 40,000 Conquest magazines. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope I will see you all again very soon. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.